Hey, welcome to the video. We're going to talk about some of the best AI stocks to buy now, and actually a couple that if you own or you've been thinking about buying, you might want to have a second thoughts about that. Okay, so we're going to jump over and take a look at one of the top analysts and see what he has to say about this, and then we're also going to just have a dialogue as we go through this. So I'm going to play this for you, and we're going to listen to it together. And then there's a couple of key things that when I see that I want to point out, because my goal, real simple, with this channel is to help you make more money, help keep you, better and more informed, and bring you information so that you can make more money in stocks and just be better informed. Okay, so let's take a look at this.
Season. Tech and comm services, according to LSEG, they make up pretty much all the earnings growth this earnings season. Without them, earnings growth would actually be negative. Do you think that tech and comm services can live up to it? What are the potential?
And yes, I know he's talking about Netflix, but we're going to get into the AI in here in a minute. But it actually has something to do with Netflix.
Pitfalls here.
I mean, look, I think we're actually going to see an accelerated growth when it comes to earnings season. The big thing here is you're seeing on the consumer side for, let's say, like a Netflix subscription growth, especially international, is going to be pretty robust. But I think the biggest thing here, Frank, is the AI revolution that's now spreading across software, across cybersecurity, and across the rest. And that's really the hyper growth that we're seeing across tech.
All right, so you're seeing hyper growth. But help us out, Dan. I know you're a bull. I know you're pretty bullish on pretty much every stock in your coverage universe. But are there any stocks you see with the potential to maybe miss the mark? I mean, Tesla would be one that comes to mind. I know you cover the EV space as well. Certainly having issues with deliveries and also just some brand issues. At the same time, we've seen a weaker dollar.
Look, I think if there's going to be weakness, it's going to be from the networking players. I mean, when you look like Cisco, and I think maybe some of the legacy players like Dell, I think when it
Okay, so that right there was a big deal. What he just was talking about was AI kind of legacy players, AI related, right? And that's the point of the video. So two that you might want to look at if you currently own Dell or you currently own Cisco, you might want to look at, okay, he's Dan here, and he's very well respected, Dan Ives. He's saying that there's going to be some softness in those particular kind of in that legacy networking side. Okay, so I went and looked. I currently don't own any Cisco or Dell, so I'd be kind of like, I was kind of looking, maybe I needed to pare back those positions if I did have some, to kind of pare back that exposure.
Comes to software, and we're talking about with Microsoft, and ultimately we're going to see with the hyperscalers, cloud, of course, led by names like Palantir, and cybersecurity is going to be a huge beneficiary because of these sectors.
Big one there was Palantir. I do own Palantir. I would recommend, again, not investing advice, right? But if you're talking about a major AI player on the cloud side, Palantir is one you might want to look at. And then security around AI is a big deal. And you might want to be looking at some AI security related plays as well.
And third derivatives playing out. And I just continue to view it's a golden age for tech. And this earnings season, I think this is the start. We've talked about tech stocks up 10 to 15% second half of the year.
I want to talk about cybersecurity. You have a new note out today. You're really bullish on cybersecurity. But if you look since the start of this quarter, cybersecurity has been lagging, actually. It's actually in the red. We use a couple ETFs that we're going to look at. The CIBR down about 4.5%.
Okay, so there you go. If you don't want to buy the direct, AI security software stocks themselves, then these are some ETFs you might want to look at. And they've been lagging, and so maybe there's and here's the thing, if they've been lagging, you can look at it as a buying opportunity because you're going to be able to buy on that lower end because it has been lagging, and he's going to talk about that.
Similar story for the BUG. The HACK only down about 2.33%. What's going on with this weakness? You're bullish on it. We've heard a lot of analysts talk about not a golden age like you're saying, but just a big boost in cybersecurity following the Mideast tensions. Why are we seeing the sell-off when it comes to cyber?
I think it's really been a rotation, maybe some of the higher growth in software, some of these other AI plays. So cyber's maybe lagged here. I think the market's got it wrong. I think actually when you look at a subsector, cybersecurity could be the biggest subsector of the year for tech. Because what we're seeing, when you look at CrowdStrike, you look at Zscaler, Palo Alto, Check.
Okay, CrowdStrike, Zscaler, a couple of cybersecurity related ones. You might want to jot those down.
Point. As more moves to the cloud, cybersecurity is going to go hand in hand. So I think this is going to be one of those areas that actually significantly outperforms during earnings season.
We also had the quote unquote one big beautiful bill pass, supposed to be not a golden age. I'm kind of using some of your words, but it's a big boost when it comes to CapEx. Who do you see benefiting from that as we look throughout the rest of the year? What big tech players benefit from this boost in CapEx spending? Or who do you see spending considerably more with the idea of this bonus depreciation?
Yeah, look, I think front and center is the massive AI Palantir. I think Palantir is going to be a huge beneficiary when you look at the bill. I think on big tech, Microsoft, Oracle, I think front and center in terms of ones that are going to benefit. And I think what you're really going to start to see here is more and more within the Beltway, there's going to be huge hyper spending on AI. And that it speaks on sovereigns and everyone else. And that's why even Jensen is significantly trying to get in pole position for what's going to be really a massive spending that's going to happen in the Beltway.
Does this change the investor view on CapEx spending? We've seen a couple quarters ago, investors, they kind of punish companies for spending too much. These recent quarters kind of just mixed reaction to boost in CapEx spending. How do investors view CapEx spending now with these changes to the tax laws?
Yeah, you want to see them aggressively on the offensive. I think right now the worry is, as a company, you don't want to see them spending too little, because then they're on the outside looking in. This is an AI arms race, a Game of Thrones that's going on when it comes to AI. And you look at some of these changes when it comes to CapEx, you're going to see more acceleration. And I still think investors are underestimating what this CapEx cycle is going to look like, not even the rest of this year, but into next year. And that's why we believe this is a tech bull market that goes on for the next 2 to 3 years.
All right, give us your top pick, whether it's the Messi of AI, the Saquon Barkley of AI.
Wow, 2 years, tech AI, bull spending.
What's the top pick in the tech space? And also, is there a different stock that's maybe a bellwether of how tech earnings are going?
Yeah, and I'll give you an under the radar one, or at least relative. Look, I still think Microsoft, that can, whether it's the Saquon, okay, like in terms of, to me, that's the one where when it comes to hyperscalers, I think they joined the $4 trillion club along with NVIDIA, relative to that. But I also think you look at IBM, that's the name.
Really?
Rodney Dangerfield software still doesn't get a lot of respect. But when you look at it, when it comes to AI, I think what Arvind's doing there's a renaissance that's going on in Armonk. That's why we're very bullish on IBM.
IBM, that's so. Will we see this read on AI spending through the consulting business? Is it part of the Red Hat business? What's the indicator that the tech trade, as you say often, it's at 9 o'clock, going to 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. I can't remember which one.
10 p.m.
10 p.m. Okay, my bad. What should we be looking for in the IBM earnings that give us that signal that you're saying is kind of an under the radar play? What should we be looking for?
It's cloud computing, and I think it's AI driven revenue. And look, services you could say is under pressure, but the stack, that's what IBM's selling into a massive install base. And
yeah, that's true. IBM. Interesting. Okay, so you've got a lot of good stuff coming here. So I appreciate you giving me a few minutes. Look, here's what we got out of this. Microsoft, one of the top ones that Dan is believing that's going to be one of the big recipients joining the $4 trillion market cap club. Palantir was one of the leaders. We had a couple of that were underdogs that he mentioned. We had a couple that you might want to look at maybe scaling back. He doesn't believe that the kind of the legacy, kind of the systems plays like Dell, things of that nature, Cisco, right? So those are the ones that he might want to back off a little bit there. So good stuff. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.